It's the recap for Sunday, October 6, 2024. I'm Daniel Montoya Jr. for General Effect Media. We are officially in what the kids call Bandtober. And while some would say that last week was the unofficial begin of the month, there can be no doubt we have just finished the first official weekend of band competition in the month of October in the year of our Lord 2024. And we've got a lot to cover today. So if at any point you like what we're doing on this video, don't hesitate to give us a thumbs up. And if you really like what's going on here at GEM, why don't you subscribe to the YouTube channel and click that notification bell so you know when we drop a new video of the recap, This Weekend in Band, Show Day, which we'll talk about later, or maybe a new segment / show that we will also talk about later that will debut later on this week. We first go to Bedford, Texas, where I made a prediction that did not come true. I predicted that, well, number one, Marcus was going to win. That was my initial prediction, but then I realized that they weren't going. So then I adjusted it to Flower Mound. And I did say, yes, I realize I'm not picking the defending champion to win. And much like many of my predictions, they proved me wrong. The Hebron High School Band was victorious at this regional, taking first place with an 87.6 over Flower Mound with an 87.3, only a .300 difference. Nonetheless, Hebron took all three captions, though they shared the general effects caption with Flower Mound High School. So, in a way, I was pretty wrong. Now, in the preliminary results in Class A, Crum High School got first and took all captions, as they were the only Class A group. In Class AA, Argyle took first, as well as music and general effect. Grapevine took second, as well as visual performance. And Lovejoy High School took third. If we move on to AAA, Wakeland High School took first in all three captions. Alito took second. And in a rousing victory for your boy, Lone Star High School did indeed hear their voice, nay, their name called out, placing third in Class AAA and advancing to finals. That's right, they ended up in 7th place with a score of 80.250. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below. Not only did they not make finals this regional last year, I believe they were 14th. That's a 7th place jump. So good for them. I was right. I predicted they would hear their name either as a caption winner or as a medalist. And your boy was right. That makes up for incorrectly picking the overall champion, doesn't it? I say it does. And then in 4A, Hebron won prelims. They won music performance. Well, they won all three captions, but they tied in visual performance with Flower Mound High School. So overall, they took all 6 captions throughout the day, tying on 2 of them, Flower Mound taking second and Capel taking third. If we look a little bit closer at the recap, not a whole lot was weird. Hebron pretty much took almost all of the sub-captions with the exception of visual performance individual. That went to Flower Mound. And then in visual general effect, which also went to Flower Mound. Now, in visual individual, they were only 0.1 difference away from getting first, which is very comparable. Almost so a choice had to be made. However, when we get to visual effect, Michael Turner put a 0.3 difference, which is minor differences. It's a step above very comparable, or maybe it's a wider gap. Regardless, it's not something that Hebron can say they dominated in that caption, Flower Mound dominated in those captions. So Hebron was very close to sweeping all captions in finals. Flower Mound close enough, though, in captions and overall to not discount this as a huge loss. Now, here's a little bit of context for Hebron's win up until this weekend. And what that means is we are not taking into account what happened this weekend. Hebron High School has been into 10 regional finals. They were 3 class champion. They have won the class 3 times, rather. They are a 5-time regional champion. I don't know that they've only gone to 10 regional finals. That doesn't sound right. I might be mistaken. But they are a regional champion 5 times. They have made super regional finals 10 times. Okay, that might be right. I don't know. They have been the class champion for the super regional 4 times, and they have 2 super regional championships. So I feel like this might be a little less. I don't know. 2024 to 2014. There was a time when the Louisville bands were not as good as they were or are now. Marcus High School was known more for their percussion than they were for the band program. Their percussion's still incredibly well known. Flower Mound and Hebron, they kind of walked through that desert for a while. So maybe it isn't so far-fetched to think they've only been successful in the last 10 or so years, but it sounds weird. It sounds weird, right? Double check me in the comment section down below. I need to double check my notes on that one. Now we go to Chattanooga, Tennessee, where the little UT resides in there. We predicted that Dobyns-Bennett would win this regional, and they did handedly with an 82.150 over a 79.9 for Evansville North. In finals, however, Dobyns-Bennett won all three captions, but tied with the music caption with Lambert High School out of Georgia. Lambert placing fourth place overall and tying the champion for music. Pretty good, pretty big deal. We move into Class A, where Estill County took first in all captions, Russell County took second, and Signal Mountain took third. In Double A, the aforementioned Evansville North took first and all three captions and prelims. Cass took second, Christian County High School took third. In Class AAA, Dobyns-Bennett took first, all three captions. Franklin out of Tennessee took second, and Buford High School, welcome to the night show out of Georgia, took third. And then in fourth place, Lambert High School took first, also taking music and general effect, with Walton taking second and visual, and Lakota East out of Ohio placing third. As we mentioned, Dobyns-Bennett takes it, and with the exception of one subcaption, which was music individual, Dobyns-Bennett swept all subcaptions. In fact, Dobyns-Bennett got a 16.5. Evansville North, who won, had a 17.2. That is a 0.7 difference, which we at General Fake Media and WGI consider to be significant. As somebody in the comment section said a few episodes ago, I used to do the comparison or the analogy to say it's like baseball compared to pickleball and tennis and football. But then somebody, and in the spirit of college football, because that's what we like around here, said it was kind of like the NFL compared to the SEC compared to that. They're all playing the same sport. You are absolutely right. A 0.7 difference is like, I don't know. I'm going to pick a random team from the SEC. Texas. They were just ranked number one. Again, the University of Texas. That's like the University of Texas playing. It's not necessarily like playing UTSA, but it was pretty close. That's what they're saying. That gap was that significant in individual performance. It was an SEC team playing an AAC team or a Sun Belt team or a Mountain West team. That's what the gap read to me. Now, enough about downplaying that. Dobyns-Bennett, up until this weekend, a 12-time regional finalist, a 12-time class champion, a 7-time regional champion, a 5-time super regional finalist, a 2-time super regional class champion, and a 1-time super regional championship for the Dobyns-Bennett High School Band. Congratulations on that. Fix that music individual score, or maybe that judge was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that's what happens when you're on the field. You're sampling, wrong place, wrong time. It happens to the best of us. Hopefully next time things get improved, worked out, and the judges just happen to be in the right spot at the right time. That would be great, wouldn't it? Now, before we move onto Flagstaff, Arizona. That's right. If you at any point want to support General Effect Media, perhaps you could do it one of two ways. Number one, you could visit our store, the General Effect Media store, where you can purchase a t-shirt. New designs are coming out this weekend, live on site at Texas Marching Classic for SHOWDAY, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But you can buy a General Effect Media shirt. You can buy a General Effect The Brand shirt, put it on there. After administrative fees, all profits will be shared with our content creators. However, if you're the type that wants to just give us money, you can donate money using Coffee, KO-FI. Any little amount, any big amount, after administrative fees, goes straight to our content creators. Really appreciate it. This is a labor of love. It's a hobby. We don't make any money. In fact, we probably lose money by doing this. But hey, when you're the biggest band nerds of band nerds, that's just what happens. Now, Flagstaff, Arizona. This is amazing. Now, if I remember correctly, this regional had 7 groups not returning to finals from last year, which included the top 4, I believe. And if I remember correctly, last year, the highest placing group that came this year was Mountain Ridge High School. I believe they placed 5th. I could have checked my records and wrote it down. I believe they placed 5th last year, and they were one of the groups that I said would be in contention for winning this year. Now, the Edmond, not Edmonton as I mistakenly say, Edmond Santa Fe High School won this show handedly, 82.950 to 79.450. 79, 80, 81, 82, 3.5 points. That is very significant. That is a significant victory. They took all captions in finals. And if we go into prelims, Pinecrest Academy of Nevada Cadence, Nevada, took first in all captions. They were the only Class A group there. In Class AA, Covina took first place in music and visual, with Ironwood Ridge taking second in general effect. And then Faith Lutheran High School taking third. Moving to AAA, Foothill High School took first. Let's clarify that. Foothill High School out of Nevada took first, as well as visual performance. Catalina Foothills out of Arizona got second and took music performance and general effect, with Millennium High School taking third place. And then when we get to Class 4A, Edmond Santa Fe High School out of Oklahoma took first, taking all captions, with Mountain Ridge High School placing second, and Mission Hills High School out of California taking third. If we dig into the recap, once again, we have a pretty strong showing by the champion, with only 2 captions not going to the champion. That was Music Ensemble, which did go to Mountain Ridge, with Edmonton being 0.4 away, which is minor differences. And then we get into Music Effect 2, which was given to Catalina Foothills, 16.9 to a 16.8. Very comparable. And 9 times out of 10, it could just go either way. Regardless, only 2 subcaptions for Edmond Santa Fe. Here's a little context. This was the first BOA competition ever attended by Edmond Santa Fe High School. Not only did they win their class, they won the regional. They are 1 for 1. They're batting 1,000. They are the Vandergrift High School of going to Grand Nationals 1 time and winning 1 time. They're batting 1,000. Edmond Santa Fe could never go to a BOA again, and they are batting 1,000. Now, you may be wondering, much like myself, who is Edmond Santa Fe High School? So I looked into them, went to their website to find out a little bit about their group. They are a 5-time OMEA honor band, which I'm assuming OMEA stands for Oklahoma. However, this is what confused me. They are the 2024 OKMEA honor wind ensemble. From Texas, it is OU Hate Week. I will not put that hate towards Edmond Santa Fe. It's reserved for OU. However, I don't understand the difference between OMEA and OKMEA, and I will refer back to my favorite story/joke about the state of Oklahoma. Why does Texas not fall into the Gulf of Mexico? Because OU sucks. But if we continue on, Edmond Santa Fe was the Class 6A State Jazz Band champ in 2023 and 2024. So it looks like and sounds like they are making some waves in the state of Oklahoma, not only in OMEA, but OKMEA. I guess there's a difference. We have TMEA and TBA here, so I'll cut you a little slack for now. But the closer we get to next Saturday, I'll just say it. 56-14 Texas. Let's go with that. That sounds about right, doesn't it? Let's stay outside of Texas and go to Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee for the Memphis, Tennessee Regional. Now, we predicted it was going to be a 3-way race for first between Bartlett, Hernando, and Collierville. Or is it Collierville? Collierville or Collierville? We were kind of right. Bartlett won. They won first place. They took music performance as well as general effect, with Arlington High School taking second place and the visual performance caption. This was a 2-point win. Bartlett 82.65 with Arlington 80.65. A pretty significant win. 2 points is a whole lot of points. It's a big gap. If we go into Class A prelim results, Murray High School took first and swept all captions. Hope High School took second. Union City High School took third. In AA, Arlington High School took first as well as general effect. Hernando took second as well as music performance, and Germantown took third as well as visual performance. And in Class AAA, Tupelo High School took first as well as music and general effect. DeSoto Central took second as well as visual performance, and Bellevue East out of Illinois took third. And then wrapping it up in Class 4A, Bartlett took first, all captions. Cabot High School took second, and Collierville taking third. We look into the recap as we do here, and musically and effect-wise, Bartlett took all captions. However, in visual performance in both of the sub-captions and obviously in the full caption, Arlington High School took first in that. It was a 0.2 difference in visual individual. It was a 0.3 difference in visual ensemble, 2 to 3 points. Very comparable to minor differences. Any given Saturday, this could be completely different in those captions. Now, Bartlett High School, up until this weekend, they debuted at BOA, at least according to what we think, in 2021, placing 7th in their first BOA regional. In that time, up until this weekend, not counting this weekend, they have made finals 4 different times. They had not won a class championship, and they had only won 1 regional championship. So if you put this weekend into it, they have now won a class championship and are a 2-time regional champion. Congratulations to Bartlett. Congratulations to us for predicting, in a roundabout way, the winner of the Memphis Regional. Now, as you follow along with the recap, if you're really interested in other things, maybe some of the written word, and you want to follow along, we started off as a Substack 2 years ago, or is it 3 years ago? Not really sure. There you get some reviews, you get some commentary, you get some opinions, you get some fun articles, maybe some rankings and whatnot. Go ahead and subscribe to that. We also let you know when a new video is released on YouTube, so it's like a 2-for-1. You know what comes out of the Substack. You also know if a new podcast or a new episode is released on the YouTube channel. However, if you are more into videos and memes and stories and whatnot, you can click on our Instagram and subscribe and give it a like and all of that stuff. As I always say, the younger, hipper, cooler people of General Effect will run that channel. And we're going to be hella busy this next weekend as we are live on site at the Texas Marching Classic for Show Day in collaboration with Cedar Ridge High School and Texas Marching Classic. And if all goes well, Flow Marching. So we'll talk a little bit more about it at the end of this video. So make sure you stay tuned, and you'll get all the information you need. Now, I have said on these videos and this weekend in band videos, if there's a band contest that we don't cover that you really want us to cover, send us the information. Ideally, you send official information from a website, from a recap, etc. If it's this weekend in band, just give me the list and we can talk about it. When it comes to results, I do go to forums to try and find results from the kids, but more often than not, there's a little bit of discrepancies with the actual score. Maybe they misheard something, so I prefer an actual recap. Well, I had a band dad reach out to me, and he said he didn't have an official recap, but he can prove that these are the results because they were on videos. So thank you to that. And if at any point you would like to share your results or your show and contest, please send us an email. I believe it is the recap@generaleffect.media. It'll be right there for you. It is also in the description below. All the email addresses go to the same place eventually, but for anything the recap related, use the recap email address. Now, this show is the 4 states marching contest, which took place this weekend at Tiger Park at Grimm Stadium at Texas High in Texarkana. Now, Texarkana, exactly what it sounds like. It's on the border of Texas and Arkansas. Now, this year, they were celebrating their 50th year of this contest. That's a lot of band. 50 years. Congratulations to you. And according to their press release, they added something new. 2 things this year. This year they added fireworks to the end, which is awesome. And if you ever go to state marching contest or is it BOA San Antonio, you always hope the fireworks are after you're done performing and not while you're performing. And they also enlisted and started a fan favorite award. Now, I don't have that information for the fan favorite. I did reach out, had not heard anything back, and that's okay. But there were 10 finalists for this, or there was 10 bands that were ranked on there. And now, this is very Texas-centric. However, being a 4 states marching contest, I assure you that bands from 4 states attended said contest. I think 3 states are represented in this final. In first place, Redwater High School out of Texas. Second place, Pleasant Grove High School, also out of Texas. Third place, Parkway High School out of Louisiana gets third. Fourth place, Liberty Alau High School out of Texas. Fifth place, Hooks High School out of Texas. Sixth place, Prairie Land High School out of Texas. Seventh place, Tatum High School out of Texas. Eighth place, DeQueen High School out of Arkansas. Ninth place, Arkansas High School out of Arkansas. Now that may seem obvious, but it says here there's a Texarkana, Texas, and Arkansas. The 2 cities lie on the border of the 2 states. Makes sense. And then Mount Vernon High School out of Texas, 10th place. Now, if you are into the UIL of it all, Redwater, who took first, is in 3A, as is Liberty Alau, who took fourth. Hooks, who took 5th, is 3A. Pearland, who took 6th, is 3A. And Tatum High School, who took 7th, is also 3A. I forgot Mount Vernon, who was in 10th, is also 3A. The one lone 4A representative for the state of Texas was Pleasant Grove High School. They placed 2nd. All of these Texas bands are in Group/Area C for their respective areas. And of all of these bands, Redwater High School last year placed 6th place at the state marching contest finals in 2023. Caption awards: Redwater won percussion and Pleasant Grove High School won color guard. If this contest is anything like some of the other UIL-based contests I've been to, the caption awards don't factor into the score. They have a percussion judge and a color guard judge that then deem a winner in prelims or finals or in various classes. So congratulations to Redwater High School. How this means for their potential continuation, ideally in state marching contest, perhaps looking for a medal to see how things go in Class 3A. It will be exciting to see. Thank you for submitting this information about this contest. And as I said, if there is any contest out there that we aren't covering, please send it to us at the recap, and we'll be sure to cover it, fit it in, and do some research and talk about and advertise and promote your contest and their results. We now move to Cedar Park, Texas, which is a suburb of Austin. Leander, Texas, a suburb of Austin. Pflugerville, Round Rock, all suburbs of Austin, not in fact Austin. Austin area, but not Austin. The Vista Ridge Marching Festival 2024 took place at Gupton Stadium. This is hosted by Vista Ridge High School. They are a prelims finals show. And last week, if I remember correctly, there was the Bands of America San Marcos show where McNeil High School, where I posited that McNeil would place 3rd. And guess what? Your boy was right. In a Slack channel, I said McNeil over Westlake at Vista Ridge, ? And I'm not going to say people shot me down, but they definitely did not wholeheartedly agree with me. I should have talked about this on This Weekend in Band. But I should have been public with it because I have been 2 for 2 in a row with McNeil High School as they did prove to be victorious over Westlake High School, taking 1st at the Vista Ridge Music Festival, taking music, if I remember correctly. If we look at finals on here, McNeil High School 1st, Westlake 2nd, Winston Churchill 3rd, William H. Taft 4th, Lake Belton 5th, John Paul Stevens 6th. In 7th place, Hutto High School, Go Hippos, Tom Glenn 8th. Liberty Hill 9th, and New Braunfels Unicorns in 10th place on there. Now, this looks like this was a kind of hybrid contest. They have music judge 1, visual judge, they have 2 music judges, 2 visual judges, and a general effect, content design, however you want to put it. McNeil High School got 1st in both of the music captions, winning 1st place, Westlake taking 2nd. However, this was different here. Westlake was 3rd. I'm taking my glasses off because I can't read up close with them. Westlake was 3rd in one of the music judges, while William H. Taft was 2nd by one of the music judges. And then in the other music judge, McNeil 1st, Westlake 2nd. For a McNeil 1st, Westlake 2nd overall in the music caption. We go to visual. One judge had Westlake 1st and the other had McNeil 1st, and then 2nd place vice versa, with a finish for 1st place for Westlake High School with a 35.2 to a 34.8. They don't, but this is listed as from 1 to 100, so I can't really figure out how the tenths would work or in the subcaptions. So it looks like 0.4 difference between the two, which I think if we put into sort of tenths, it might be a 0.2, which would be falling into very comparable. And in general effect, Winston Churchill placed 1st. And then his 2nd was McNeil. 3rd was Westlake High School. General effect judged by Albert Lowe. Stats are stats. Facts are facts. Former band director of bands at Winston Churchill High School. McNeil High School placing 1st overall with a score of, took my glasses off too soon, 90.8 over an 89.6 for Westlake High School, which puts that at a 1.2. It's pretty significant. Congratulations to the McNeil Maverick High School Marching Band. If you ever are in the Round Rock, Austin area and you have a chance to attend a McNeil Maverick High School Marching Band football game, please go and go see their anatomically correct horse Maverick mascot statue. That's all I'll say about that. Webster, Texas, home of the Bands of America South Houston Regional at the Challenger Columbia Stadium, NASA country, NASA town. We predicted that Sci-Fair was going to win this regional because the Woodlands, who won this regional last year when it was in Katy, was not attending. Sci-Fair proved to not be the champion. In fact, they were not one of the top 2 or 3. So this is where we took our biggest L. We took our biggest L in this show. However, I have to say, we mentioned last episode in This Weekend in Band that when it comes to the North Houston versus South Houston shows, there inevitably is always a group or two in either way that makes finals at Conroe and then doesn't at the South Houston show. Or a band that doesn't make finals and then ends up making finals at this show. This happened once again. At Conroe, Clearbrook High School made finals. At this show, they were first out. Churchill Forsher, if I remember correctly, was first out or second out in Conroe. They made finals at this show. Wild, right? You cannot ever assume things are going to work the way they always do. I don't know if it's a North Houston versus South Houston temperature or altitude or I don't know. Regardless, proximity to the ocean. Regardless, congratulations to Forsher High School. I believe this is their first BOA finals placement ever. Now, we said Sci-Fair. It was not Sci-Fair. Pearland High School with their first regional championship, placing first with an 86.6 over an 85.95. That is almost 0.7. That is almost SEC versus Sunbelt. That doesn't count. That's the overall score. That's about a 3.5, rather a 0.35-ish. So that's more in very comparable. So I apologize. It's not a different league altogether. In finals, Pearland won, taking visual and general effect, with the Ronald Reagan High School band, who placed second in finals, taking the music caption. There were no single A groups at this show. Double A West Harrison took first and all captions, as they were the only double A group there. In class Triple A, Friendswood took first and all captions, Clearbrook took second, and Clear Lake took third place. And then in class 4A, Ronald Reagan High School took first and all captions, Bridgeland took second, and Pearland was third overall in prelims. Now, or rather in prelims and 4A. One of the things about this one was we also made a prediction of where the top 15 would come from. We had 10 locks, then we had the next 15. We were out on Clearbrook. We did not mention Clearbrook not making finals, but we did say Pearland, Ronald Reagan, Bridgeland. We were wrong on Klein Oak. We did not pick them. Claudia Taylor, Sci-Fair, Dickinson's, we were right. Foster, we were right. Seven Lakes, Dawson, Friendswood, and we said Churchill Fulsher were going to be in the top 15. So the only groups that we were off on were Klein Oak and Clearbrook, which we should have looked at how things came out last week. But again, one of those groups who made finals last week and was coming this week was bound to have something happen. Unfortunately for Clearbrook, it was them. Fortunately for Klein Oak and for Churchill Fulsher, they advanced to finals after not making it last time. Congratulations to them. If we look at the recap of it all, a little bit more bouncy around than other finals and regionals we were talking about. Ronald Reagan took first with a 17.5 in music individual. Pearland was fifth. A 17.5 to a 16.5. That is a full point. What Judge W. Pitts was saying was Ronald Reagan was SEC football and Pearland was an FCS school. Is that the right way? I'm not saying that's what they are. I'm saying with that range, with that gap, Sam Houston, I think they moved up now. Oh, Dallas Baptist University, something like that. However, Kay Young and Music Ensemble put Pearland in first. However, that huge gap amounted to Ronald Reagan winning music, with Pearland finishing third overall. We get into visual performance. J.O. I don't know how to pronounce that last name, so I'm not going to do it. But Ronald Reagan in first with a 17.3. Pearland is in second with a 17.1. However, B. Jones and Ensemble Visual put Pearland in first with a 17.2 over a 16.8 for Reagan. 0.4 difference. We're getting into minor differences there. Overall, first place for Pearland in visual, and then in general effect music, first place all the way for Pearland. However, Bridgeland was first in visual effect by Marie Japinski with a 17. However, Pearland was only in second by 0.2, which again, very comparable. Put it all together, Pearland wins general effect caption. Some context for you about the Pearland Pears. I know they're not the Pears. They're the Pearland Oilers, aren't they? Isn't their stadium called The Rig? Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they change the name? Anyway, regardless, up until this weekend, they had been attending 19 BOA events. Their highest placement was the third place finish. They've been a finalist 9 times. They are a 3-time Super Regional finalist. And as mentioned earlier, this is their first Bands of America Regional Championship. Congratulations to the Pearland Oilers. Go Pears. Now, before we finish up with the Wylie Marching Invitational, you have heard me discuss Show Day, and we are hyping this up, and hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes well. It goes the way we plan it, the way we want to, because hashtag streaming is hard. Show Day, General Effect Media will be debuting their new show, Show Day, inspired by ESPN College Game Day. We will be live on site at the Texas Marching Classic, hosted by Cedar Ridge High School, streamed by Flow Marching. In the perfect world, everything goes right, we will be in the vendor concession area as you walk in, and we will be live streaming on our YouTube channel, maybe on some of the social channels, and again, if everything goes right, as well as Flow Marching. We will be live from 8 till about 8:40, which is when the first band comes on at 8:45. You will find us pre-show. We will be back during the lunch break, and then we'll be back after prelim awards are announced. Take a small break, and we will have a pre-show before finals start, and then we will wrap everything up afterwards when finals are over. Now, we will be discussing what's happening at TMC, but we'll be also discussing other results that are coming in from shows around the country. So very much, again, like ESPN College Game Day. We will have some interviews from some students and hopefully some designers that will stop by. We're still locking that all together. And yes, before finals, your General Effect Media staff who will be on there will be 4 of us, at the very least, if not 5, will be making our live on-air predictions for who will win the Texas Marching Classic. And in the and answering your Lee Corso question, yes, we'll have something very similar to that going on. So be sure to check us out, Show Day, live on site on Saturday. If you're there, come say hi. We'll have some giveaways, some goodies, and come get on camera. It'll be a lot of fun. Show Day, next Saturday, Texas Marching Classic, Cedar Ridge High School, and Flow Marching. The Wylie Marching Invitational, hosted by Wylie Marching Band. That Wylie Band at the Wylie ISD Stadium. This is a prelims final show. Due to enrollment numbers, all groups that competed in prelims advanced to finals. In order, Sachse High School was first, they are 6A. Reedy High School was second, they are 5A. Duncanville High School was third, they are 6A. Lebanon Trail High School was fourth, they are 5A. Lake Ridge High School was fifth, they are 6A. Lovejoy High School was sixth, they are 5A. And North Garland High School was seventh, they are 6A. Yes, 6A1. Now, there's some weird areas. I believe Sachse and Duncanville are in an area. Lake Ridge and maybe North Garland are in a different area. This pertains to UIL and area competitions. Now, when you put this together, Sachse, Reedy, and Duncanville split subcaptions, as well as Lebanon Trail, which makes no sense if you're trying to put together a 5A, 6A thing. It was just all jumbled together, which is fine. It doesn't make it very clear to discuss, oh, this band, this. If we go into their judging, it looks like they had 3 music judges, 2 visual judges, which is pretty standard here at UIL area competition and beyond. And every judge here had, at least the music judges, had ensemble, woodwinds, brass, percussion, and content. They were judging 5 subcaptions, with the visual judges only judging 3, individual, ensemble, and content. I know, this is way better than it's ever been, and it's continuing to get better. I know it sounds bonkers for you outside of Texas. Reedy High School in the first music judge was first. However, in content, Duncanville took that judge, and the D. Brandon judge did have Reedy High School in first, Sachse in second, Duncanville in third. If we go to Todd Clearwater, also a music judge, he had Reedy High School in first on ensemble, Duncanville first in woodwinds, Reedy High School in brass, Sachse High School in percussion, Duncanville High School in content for an overall first place for Reedy High School. Honestly, I'm all about that. The same band doesn't always have the best of everything, so good for Todd Clearwater. A little zip codey, we'll take it. Jay Perez, first place in ensemble, went to Reedy High School. First in woodwinds and brass and content went to Sachse. First in percussion went to Reedy, which gives us an overall other first place music judge for Jay Perez. Give it to Sachse. So that's 1 music judge for Sachse, 2 music judges for Reedy High School. However, we get to visual, and it looks like that's where things went the way for Sachse with the first visual judge. First place was Reedy High School, and individual ensemble and content was first for Sachse, C. Sosa, and Mike Howard. This one is where we get to the other group. Lebanon Trail, who finished fourth, was first in individual and content for Mike Howard. However, he had Sachse first in ensemble. We still have Sachse in first in both of those visual judges, which gives us a first place ranking for Sachse. Again, Reedy second, Duncanville third. This is an ordinal-based competition, which is very similar to how UIL works at region, area, state marching contests. If you're not familiar with ordinals, the Olympic-style ordinals, it breaks down like this. In music, Sachse had an overall second place, and first place. You add that together, you get 5. Then they were first place in visual, first place in other visual. That gives us 7. However, it does say 8. Did I miss that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not sure where they got that 8 from. That seems to be mistaken. Basically, you take the number, the ranking you get, and add it all together. So you had, according to this, 8th for Sachse. I'm confused. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should be a 7. It doesn't really matter because then Reedy High School had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They added like a point somewhere because it shows Sachse got an 8 when they really got a 7 and Reedy got an 11th when they really got a 10. I wonder if maybe they took into account percussion or color guard or something. Regardless, it's ordinal style. So first place scored an 8. Second place scored an 11. You get it? You want to be the lowest amount possible. So you had an 8, an 11, a 17, a 20, 27, 28, 36. That's how we do ordinals in Texas. I know. Antiquated, perhaps. Time for a change. This is much improved than what we used to do here in Texas. Dr. Brad Kent and Jerry Miller doing some great things for UIL and how we're adjusting things. I will not stand for Texas UIL ordinal slander. It's getting better every day. Better every day, better every year. So good for them. Good for Texas. Good for UIL ordinals. Now, we are wrapping up this video with announcement of our newest segment, our newest video that is slated to release on Wednesday. Now, you may be familiar with Horn Rank. And a few years ago when GEM started, we had, I'm not going to call it GEM Rank, we had it our power rankings. And at first, we did enlist a collection of voters, of fans, of directors, of designers, of judges, and they voted. But as the year went on, the submissions got less and less, and it became harder to get people to take the initiative to actually send their vote. Last year, we enlisted a committee, which I think worked out really well as a committee of designer, judges, fans, nerds, etc. And we came up with our ranking system that way. This year, we're doing it a little bit different. I have often, and I will continue to create the similarity, or show the similarities rather, between college football and competitive high school marching band. I think it's a really good comparison. Drum corps, same way. Just the fervor, the fanaticism, the money, the leagues, the states, the circuits, all of those things. So it was with that in mind, that we are creating the marching band playoff bracket. Now, the good thing about rankings, or the bad things about rankings, is yes, they're opinions, but you're never going to have all of them competing against each other, right? You can look at the rankings. The coaches poll came out today. The AP poll came out today. And yes, you have Texas and Ohio State and Oregon like top 3. But right now, there's just no way for sure to tell how those bands are going to compete against each other, or rather football teams. But it's all in good fun. You kind of look at their resume. Yes, you take the logo into account, all those things. But it's with that we came up with this bracket. Now, the similarities are there is a playoff bracket, and it's not really going to actually play itself out, though. It'd be perfect if it did. And we took into account automatic bids in at-large. Now, in the marching band playoff bracket, instead of only having 4 auto bids, we are going to have 7 auto bids, which come out of the 7 regions that we have picked out. Now, as you can see on the graphic right now, we have the Pacific region, which is basically the West Coast, Alaska, and Hawaii. The mountain region, which is, well, the mountainous regions of the real Midwest. That's literally the Midwestern part of the entire country. We have the Great Plains, or the Plains, which goes all the way from basically Canada down into Oklahoma, Arkansas. That's the Plains. Yes, Texas gets their own region. I don't think we have to explain why. That's the Lone Star region. We go up to the Lakes region, which people refer to as the Midwest, but that's the Lakes area. We figured you look at those groups, they tend to compete against each other. That's the Lakes region. We have the Southeast region, which goes as far west as Louisiana to as far east as North Carolina and as far south as Florida. And then everything else in the Northeast, well, that's your Northeast region. So what we are going to do is pick a number 1 seed. We're going to pick one band from each of these regions, and that will give you your 7 auto bids. Now, we were going to do a smaller amount, but we thought 12 was going to be too little because then you only had room for 5 auto bids. And then 16 was a cool number too, but when it came to a bracket, we wanted to reward those who placed in the top 4, similar to the college marching band, or actually similar to the college football playoff bracket. So the top 4 seeds will get a bye. However, we ended up taking 20. We'll call them the Gem 20. The Gem 20. And if you're wondering why we picked that number, it's because we needed to have 12 or 20 or 28 or some version of a number that didn't evenly. We needed to have it so that 4 byes could occur. Now, that's not the only difference between the marching band and playoff bracket in that they take 12, we are taking 20. We are not automatically seeding auto bids to the top 4. We're not saying who are the top 4 out of the auto bids. Those are your top 4 bands. We are just taking the top 4 bands out of the Gem 20. That could mean some groups that have an auto bid are in the top 4. That could mean some groups who do not have an auto bid, they are an at-large, will be in our top 4. Regardless, we are putting together a Gem Top 20. We have already put together the Gem Top 20 for this first week of October. That will be released on a video that debuts on Wednesday, the marching band playoff bracket. It's all in fun, and it's a way to treat things a little bit differently than your standard rankings like Horn Rank or what we used to do with General Effect rankings. It is not objective, it's subjective. It is a conversation that a lot of us nerds have had, and we're kind of moving things around. And it's still early, and you may go, well, I think that band should be over this band, and you're probably right. It could happen that way. And that's what's so fun about these things is anybody could make an argument for something different. We'll listen, we'll hear it. We welcome the conversation. We welcome the discourse in the comments section down below of that video when we post it. Again, the marching band playoff bracket released on Wednesdays, more often than not, hopefully every Wednesday. We're not sure if we're going to start this any earlier than October, only because we just now got the Dallas-Fort Worth region competing at Bands of America or larger contests, and some bands didn't come out until this weekend, and some bands still haven't come out. But we felt like first week of October is the best time to release this. So make sure you check back on Wednesday for the marching band playoff bracket debut show. Check back on Friday for This Weekend in Band. Check back on Saturday for Show Day, live at the Texas Marching Classic, hosted by Cedar Ridge and powered by Flow Marching. And then Sunday, if we're not tired, we'll be back with the recap a week from now. So that was a lot of band to talk about. A lot of stuff. Hopefully the videos won't be any longer, but they might. Send us your results. Send us the things you want us to discuss. We would love to talk about, promote, and feature your contest and your bands, because we love band here. We love band here. And as you will see in the shirt, spoiler alert, I'm just going to tell you, as you will see in the shirts we are giving away and we'll start to sell next weekend, here at General Effect Media, we believe Saturdays are for the bands. We'll see you next week.